In 2011, my family and I went to this island for the very first time. Even though we loved it the first time, it took us a few years until we decided to make another go for it. This was 2015. And since 2015, my brother and I have been back to the island every year without fail. The island is called Gotland, and it's about a 3.5-hour ferry ride from the Swedish mainland. I'm not sure what qualifies as a small or a big island, but it takes you about 2 hours to drive from the very bottom of it to the very top. When you get off the ferry, you end up in the middle of it all. Over the years, we've developed a bit of a routine where we take the ferry that arrives around midnight and we drive to the same parking lot. We sleep for a couple of hours, and in the morning we stock the fridge up with all of the essential groceries that we're gonna need before we head to our favorite part of the island, the north. About 2 years ago, my brother decided to extend the family with this little Jack Russell here. His name is Herman, or Herman. After driving for about an hour, we're finally arriving to our favorite spot. It's this little island on the island called Furillen. Don't quote me on any of this, but I think there used to be a lot of military activity on this island, and I think there still is some. But there was also this quarry, but it shut down sometime in the 80s, I think. And after they had shut down, there was this really successful photographer here in Sweden who bought the quarry, as well as the majority of the land here. He built or transferred one of the buildings here to a little hotel, which is really unique. And he also left a lot of the structures from the quarry. And this rough and sort of abandoned aesthetic makes for a very cool visit here. Feels like you're in a movie set or something. During those dark and cold winter months, we're always dreaming about these sunset walks here on Furillen, which is why this is always our first stop to sort of set the tone for the entire trip. A good way to let your body know that it's time to wake up is to go for a little morning swim. So as long as nothing gets in the way, that's the routine. A morning swim followed by breakfast out in the elements. Breakfast is by far my favorite meal of the day. I've been having the same breakfast pretty much for about 4 years now, and somehow I never get tired of it. I love the comfort of eating something that I really enjoy while being able to read a book or do whatever I want for about 40 minutes before the day starts.
Hallo Gotland, hallo Gotland.
This is our favorite bakery slash restaurant slash hangout spot on the island. During the day, there are normal bakeries serving delicious pastries from their stone ovens, but at 5 p.m. every night, they start serving pizzas from that very same oven. It's just about a 10-minute drive from Furillen, so we end up going here a lot when we're on the island. Sometimes we'll have breakfast there in the morning, and we'll bring pastries for the day, and then we'll go back for pizza at night. the days are spent doing a whole lot of nothing, which is the way it should be when you're on vacation, I think. We definitely had a few days of good weather, but it was very on and off the entire trip. So as the weather turned on us once again, we decided to leave Furillen for a little bit and explore other parts of Gotland. But before any exploration can begin, we needed to deal with a few responsibilities. But for exploration, you obviously need some energy, so back to the bakery we went. We're going to an island called Fårö, translates to Sheep Island. We've been there many times before, but it's a very popular part of Gotland, which means it has a lot of people in a very small area, and we try to avoid those places at all costs. But it didn't take us long until we realized we've been making a mistake not coming here more often.
Kika han ut och hallå.
After a pretty unforgettable 2 days on Fårö, it was time to head back to the main island. The weather kept toying with us, so naturally we went back to the bakery. Before heading back south again to Visby, we decided to stop by Furillen once more. It was a different vibe this time around. This is Visby. It's a medieval town dating back to the 12th century, and it's definitely a favorite place on the island for us. This is where you arrive with a ferry, and we usually skip Visby at the very beginning and we go straight north, just so we can end the trip down here. After having spent most of the trip up north with limited bakeries and restaurants, we tend to splurge when we get into Visby. Which is the perfect way to end a trip, in my opinion. As we're getting on the ferry to leave this beautiful island, we're already in the process of planning our next trip next summer.